I have a good relationship with Aaron, even though he's a divisional enemy now. His first year was my second year in the NFL, so we kind of came up together. And, he was a backup for, 3-4 years, just wanting to get on the field. And that's kind of how I felt as a scout, wanting to do more. And he's obviously taken the most of his opportunities. And, he's certainly a Hall of Famer as well. And, we look forward to kicking his ass this year.
Elliott Wolf, the presumptive new de facto general manager of the Patriots. One of the reasons why they can't get anyone to interview for the job, because everybody believes they're going to give it to Elliott Wolf, and why wouldn't they? He just drafted their next potential franchise quarterback. I don't think you make someone else the general manager of the team. Hey, thank you so much for drafting the guy that we hope will be our next Tom Brady. Now we're going to give somebody else the job. Thanks for your service. So that was Elliott Wolf from the Shefty Cast, the Adam Schefter podcast, talking about Aaron Rodgers, because Elliott Wolf was working for the Packers. His dad, Ron Wolf, was the GM of the Packers for an extended period of time, right?
Long time.
Wasn't he was the predecessor to Ted Thompson. How soon we forget. Yeah. He's the guy that brought Brett Favre to town. Easy to say, brought Brett Favre to town. So they were together. Now they're enemies. They won't be enemies for much longer. Elliott Wolf is just getting started in New England. Aaron Rodgers is pulling the train into the station. Not that it ever got very far out of the station last year, but, unless things go really well this year for the Jets, this is it for Rodgers in New York.
Yeah, absolutely it is, Mike. And so I know Elliott Wolf was saying it in jest, but I really enjoyed it because I do think there's going to be a rivalry between these two teams. They had a 15-game winning streak, the Patriots did, ended last year with the loss to the Jets. Here's my question, Mike. How much do you think the Jets should worry about Aaron Rodgers, considering his age, considering the injury that he's coming back from, the Achilles? And he rushed, by the way, to try to get back last year in case the Jets made the postseason. I just have a concern about how healthy he's going to be and how long he's going to last this season, considering all those things.
Well, one of the big narratives for the offseason was the health of Kirk Cousins, who had the exact same injury that Aaron Rodgers had. And is he healthy? When will he be healthy? Do we think he'll stay healthy? Rodgers, and here's the problem with Rodgers. Now, I think Cousins, because he's never been about mobility, will have an easier time staying within the lines, not doing anything to put excess strain on the injured and repaired Achilles or the other one, because we've seen, and I've heard somewhere, I'm not a doctor and I've never played one on TV, but I've heard somewhere over the past 23 years that when you tear one, you have a greater likelihood of tearing the other. And maybe it just shows you have a predisposition to having an Achilles tendon that can just blow out under the wrong circumstances. But this happened last year with Rodgers early in his offseason participation with the Jets. He suffered a calf injury. And one of the things I think Chris said, you have to be careful when you have always been a guy that relies on your legs and speed. You start getting the old man soft tissue injuries at a time when you still have the ability to run fast. Your body is going to start to push back against it. You're going to get calf strains. You're going to get hamstring strains, because you're overexerting those muscles because you can, because you always have been able to overly exert them and generate a high rate of speed. So I think it's going to be harder for Rodgers to stay within the boundaries of what will keep him from suffering a similar injury, whether it's the original Achilles again, the other Achilles, calf, hamstring, whatever. Remember the year that he had the calf injury that he played through? He became a different quarterback, pocket guy, stayed in the pocket and made things happen. If I'm the Jets, one of the ways I reduce my concern, and look, we know the Jets' motto is all gas, no brakes. One of the ways I reduce my concerns is apply the brakes to Aaron Rodgers doing anything other than staying in the pocket. Transform him into Tom Brady, latter years of his career. When he knew he had no chance to outrun these guys who were literally half his age, he just got rid of the ball before the walls closed in. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, drop back, get rid of the ball before the walls close in, or hit the deck, throw it away, live to see another day. Don't try to do the things you've always done, because that's when you could get injured again. And that's what's amazing to me. We had the comeback player of the year odds up the other day, Charean. Aaron Rodgers is the favorite at plus 100. Why does anyone think he's going to play 17 games? He's 40.
That's
He played
my point.
4 snaps last year. Why would anyone think, and this was the example I used because we were trying to figure out, well, how good are the Colts going to be? Every team has the potential to be very good if everything works out just right for them. It's a big if for the Jets. Look at all the free agents they added. Guys with recent injury problems. Tyron Smith, is he going to play 17 games? Mike Williams, is he going to play 17 games? Morgan Moses, is he going to play 17 games? Aaron Rodgers, is he going to play 17 games? If they all play 17 games, you could be pretty good. But are they going to really all play 17 games? I don't think so.
Well, here's the other problem, Mike, for Aaron Rodgers is he played on grass in Green Bay. He's playing on turf, and I realize it's different turf than they had all those injuries on, but it's still turf, and we don't know how good it is, and we know the history of the injuries that they've had at MetLife Stadium. So just playing on turf, period, is going to make it harder on Aaron Rodgers. There are more of those I don't care what the NFL says, there are more soft tissue injuries and big injuries on turf than they are on grass. There just are. And it's harder on your body playing on turf than it is playing on grass. So I also have that concern with Tyron Smith, with Aaron Rodgers, with Mike Williams, with all those guys who we're talking about who have injury histories of staying healthy. No, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play 17 games. I think the question I have is how many games is he going to be there for? When are those injuries going to happen? At what point in the season? And how many games is he going to miss? Because I do expect him to miss a game, multiple games, however many games that is. I think it's important when the injuries are, at what point in the season, and how many games he misses.
See, you know what you've done to me now? And I can't be upset with you because you helped us out in a pinch today. But yesterday, it was 30 emails from all the people who were calling out Chris and his chemtrail conspiracy theory.
And
now today,
Aaron Rodgers.
Now here's what I'm going to no. You're close. Right church, wrong pew. I'm going to hear from all the artificial turf truthers who are going to rattle off all the statistics to me. And they're going to say, Kirk Cousins suffered his torn Achilles on grass at Lambeau Field, the same grass on which Aaron Rodgers played. And these selective anecdotal pieces of evidence to try to support the cash grab. And it's not the grab. This is the keep the cash. The gambling is the cash grab. Artificial turf is the keep the cash and don't spend it on better surfaces for your players by finding any statistics you want to support any proposition you want to support. And folks, you can do it. You can find any statistic if you're willing to warp it and twist it and focus it and frame it. You can find anything to support anything you want to do. Anything. So, we'll hear about it. I'll hear about it today. And the reality is exactly what you said. Look, anybody that's ever played on grass and anybody's ever played on artificial turf, you feel different when you roll out of bed the next day. I remember when we were, like back when it was the green cement, which is even less giving than today's artificial turf. Like, oh, hey, so there's an artificial turf field. Let's jump the fence and play on it. Well, we all got our punishment the next day because none of us could get our asses out of bed because it was ankles, knees, and hips in screaming pain because all the forces went right back up into our bodies. They weren't absorbed by the softer ground that surrounds grass. That's it. That's the truth. And you're right. That's the place where the 49ers 2020 season crashed and burned early when they had back-to-back games there and lost Nick Bosa and others with torn ACLs. And what was the narrative after that? They all said, that field is horrible. But for the people who are responsible for putting the fields in place, it's serenity now. It's nothing to see here. It's the injury rates are no different. It's all the bull crap that gets spewed to justify not spending the money to have high-quality grass in every NFL stadium.
Yeah, and you know what? As Pete pointed out, I think it was Mark Twain who said it. There are three kinds of lies, damn lies, and statistics. So you can have statistics, a statistic for whatever you want. It's hard. It's really hard to defend that turf at MetLife Stadium. And I know they've changed it, so maybe it's going to be better. I hope it's better. I hope I'm wrong. I hope all those guys play 17 games. I hope every player in the NFL plays 17. It's just not reality in this game. that you're going to have every player play 17 games. It's just not, unfortunately. And you're going to have injuries, and you just hope those injuries aren't to your best players. And if they are to your best players, you hope that they're short term, and you hope that they're at the right point in the season, not in the postseason, not late in the season when you're trying to make that run. That's what you hope for. So I hope for the Jets' sake that Aaron Rodgers plays all 17 games, Tyron Smith, Mike Williams, Morgan Moses, all those guys who have had recent injury history. I hope they all play 17 games and we see the best of the Jets and see what they can be with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, because we didn't even get a taste of that, much less see how good they could be. I mean, 4 plays. We didn't see anything out of the Jets with Aaron Rodgers last season. I want to see Aaron Rodgers play with the Jets to see what he can do at this age.
And you might want to rethink the whole all gas, no brakes when you got a lot of guys on your team who are probably too old to be driving. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.